in Ontario during the provincial election. She is the official opposition critic for revenue and government accountability under the leader, Tim Hudak, Shadow's Cabin, as well as the vice chair of the Standing Committee of Agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, I could go on for about an hour of what all she does, but without further ado, I'd like to introduce MPP Lisa MacLeod.
Thank you, Debbie! Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the biggest round of applause for Debbie and Shirley we could ever give. Now, who says citizens in action can't make a difference? Within days of them taking action, Premier McGuinty had to hit the pause button. But we're here today because we all know that he didn't say he was going to repeal this tax. He just said he needed 90 days to think how to hide it from you. That's a joke. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a couple housekeeping items, and I also have a speech from Mayor Larry O'Brien who's asked me to give. But first of all, I want to acknowledge something. About a year ago, when I became the HST critic and government accountability critic, I started getting visitors on the road. In fact, I'm not sure who's keeping me more busy. Tim Hudak, who's given me revenue and government accountability, or Dalton McGuinty, who's given me all the taxes and scandals that we've ever seen at Queen's Park more than ever. I don't know, you have to tell me. But ladies and gentlemen, I want everybody to turn around right over here. There's a young man in a black shirt. Give yourself a wave. Hello. You'll be so excited. He came all the way from the Premier's office in Toronto to videotape me and all of you. So if you have anything to say, to Premier Dalton McGuinty and his cabinet, go right over. He'll take that message back better than any of us ever could. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask my assistant Alicia to come up, because this week we were criticized by not only Dalton McGuinty, we were criticized in the Ottawa Citizen by David Suzuki. Oh, yeah. And to prove that conservatives and concerned citizens are eco-friendly, I have a bag for each and every one of you to go to the grocery store with. My assistants will be taking it around. Also, as quantities last, we have some bumper stickers around here. My good friend Rob Snow's on his way in. He's got 50 at CFRA. We also have one. Health tax, hydro tax, HST, eco tax. Tax me, I'm Ontarian. Thanks, Dalton. And we have another one that says health tax, hydro tax, HST, eco tax. Dalton, stop taxing me. So ladies and gentlemen, get those out. I'm going to divert from my speech to give a speech our worship Mayor Larry O'Brien has asked me to give. He couldn't be here today. Larry O'Brien writes, "The signal you send today should serve a reminder that taxpayers deserve the respect of their political leaders who set taxation and spending policies. Your presence here today should reverberate across Ottawa and all Ontario that tax increases must be stopped. Yes. And taxpayers deserve their views respected and heard. I encourage you to make your voices heard, to demand that politicians at every level treat your money with respect, to put your savings ahead of tax increases." He also goes on to say, and this is his last statement, "I encourage you to make your voices heard loud and clear, and to make it known through your political actions that you want your political representatives to fight tax increases wherever they are proposed." And that is from your worship Mayor Larry O'Brien. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the past year, Ontario has seen an unprecedented amount of scandal. $1 billion at eHealth with nothing to show for it. We have seen thousands of dollars go to untendered contracts, millions more to Liberal-friendly consultants, whether that's at OLG, Cancer Care Ontario, the WSIB, almost $3.6 billion of waste. tax. We have a $3 billion HST tax grab that hurts seniors, middle-class families, and small businesses the most. We have a new hydro tax, and now we have an eco tax. And only Dalton McGuinty would be crafty enough to hide a $3 billion tax grab underneath the eco tax that he didn't even have the decency to bring to the Ontario legislature. In fact, it was so surprising to Ontario legislatures that even the Ontario Liberal Party President Yasser Naqvi, an MPP here in Ottawa, told CFRA he was surprised by the eco tax. That's why our party, the Progressive Conservative Party, under the leadership of Tim Hudak, came out quickly and said we will scrap that tax, and we will continue to fight that tax. We will continue to tell Storage-Ship Ontario to open its books. It's up to them to be transparent to us, not the other way around. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude with this, and it's something I need you all to take away with today. It's a very important message, because the first opportunity to vote against Dalton McGuinty and his tax hikes is not October 6, 2011. It's October 25th, 2010, right here in the city of Ottawa. Because I don't need to remind any of you that the person representing the city of Ottawa at the cabinet table for e-health, for HST, for the eco tax, the hydro fee increases, the scandals at e-health, OLG, Cancer Care Ontario, and WSIB was Jim Watson. And he needs to be held accountable for his actions at Queen's Park. And when this eco fee went through cabinet, but not to the legislature, where in a democracy that is where you deserve to have your views heard. It is where your representatives are there to fight for you, bring your views to the floor of the chamber. Mr. McGuinty ignored us. This was taxation without representation, but Jim Watson was at that cabinet table during that cabinet meeting that passed these taxes. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with this. It is time for a change, but every person here knows this. Ontario can lead again, and ladies and gentlemen, when we form a government, I promise you, we will lead again. Thank you very much.